Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar about CareerEDGE. So this webinar is part of the series of webinars that we've been doing for applicants. But if you come across it and you are currently a student, then it will be useful for you as well. So to begin with, what I would like to do is tell you, find out a bit about my audience. So these webinars are aimed at students who are applicants to our courses here at UCLan, and we'd just be interested to know in who is attending today. So if you're attending and you would like to just type in the chat box whereabouts you're from, that would be great. If you're watching this on the recording, obviously you're not going to be able to type in the chat box. Also, these are available for people later on, so if you want to catch up with it later on, you can do. But if you want to take part now, then put into the chat box where you're from, just so we've got an idea. Obviously, don't put your exact address. We don't need to know that much detail. And what are you interested in studying? And then also what year you're planning to come to UCLan. Is it in 2020 or is it in 2021? Okay, that's great, thank you. So also, I think depending on the subject you put in, it might indicate what you're interested in doing in the long term. So if you've done nursing or medicine, I think you're probably planning to become a nurse or become a doctor. But if there's anything else, we're interested to know. So this session aims to help you be able to know what some of the features are on CareerEDGE that'll help you when you start studying at UCLan. So first of all, what I want you to do is, from the list below, think about what might be the 3 most important priorities for first years at university. So this is based on what you think. There's no right or wrong answers because they're all important at some point. But what do you think are the 3 most important? So in the chat box, if you just put the corresponding number, that would be great. Obviously, if you're watching the recording of this, you won't be able to tell us. Okay, so we've got some ideas there. So as I said, it's just your opinion, but knowing about how to be successful in application and selection processes has come up, knowing what skills and preferences is come up, and having knowledge of the industry as well. Okay, that's great. Now then, what I want you to think about is what might be the 3 most important career priorities for final years at university. And again, you can put those into the chat box. Okay, so sometimes people do everything at the end, sometimes they do it throughout university. Obviously, we would recommend a little bit at a time and get started in first year for looking at different options. So what we're going to do now is consider these ideas in terms of what you can access on CareerEDGE. So CareerEDGE is a program that we buy in for our students to use. So you can only access it through your UCLan careers area. But if you've registered on the applicant day, you can actually register for this and access it in a limited version for several days after the June applicant day. So the version that you can see at the moment when you access it will be more limited than this, but this gives you the full overview. Now, as I said, you do need to log into this. So hopefully it'll just let me in. There we go. And you would obviously have your own personal greeting to this. So this gives me the full version. If you're accessing the applicant version, it is more limited, but you'd be able to access the full thing when you come to UCLAM. Now, this is a program that is updated externally. So we buy it in, it's updated externally, but it also allows us the facility to add our own things in here. So we can add our own jobs in here, we can add our own sort of information in here, we do articles, all sorts of different things, and we run courses as well. So in terms of the priorities that we were talking about, number one, finding a part-time job, and also number 7, finding graduate vacancies. We've got the job search section here, and here we've got searching for jobs, which can access our new improved area that we're updating, which is jobs at CareerEDGE. And within here you can access any jobs, so you can look for part-time jobs, graduate jobs, you can look in different locations, you can specify the UK, a small part of the UK, abroad, wherever you want to go. And there's all those facilities there. And we've also got access to a global jobs portal, which is aimed at getting more overseas opportunities for people who might be international and want to go and get jobs back in their home countries, or for UK students who want to find opportunities overseas. Also in here, there's lots of other advice on how to find jobs. So articles on how to work with recruiters, e-hire ability, how to research employers, and so on. Now, the second point was knowing how to be successful in application and selection processes. So here we've got CVs. So how to write CVs. We've got a CV builder where you can actually start from scratch on doing your own CV with some advice and end up with a CV. And then we've got advice on writing cover letters to go with your CV, and the cover letter builder also helps you start from scratch. Got lots of advice on interviews as well. So general information about how to prepare and so on, as well as our interview simulator, which actually gives you a live version of an interview. You can either select questions yourself, or you can ask it to come up with questions that you don't know about. There's the elevator pitch builder, there's aptitude tests, there's advice on assessment centres, and also different industries. So just to give you some ideas, if we go into the prepare an interview section, there's a whole range of resources on here where you can choose what you're interested in. So there's things to watch, there's things to read, there's short bits of information, hot tips, all kinds of ways of accessing different bits of information, and so on. So that's about being good at the application and selection process. Now, in terms of exploring different career options, in here we do have, in the job research section, we've got some career pathways which give you case studies about a variety of different roles. So you can look at what you're interested in. So looking at the people who signed up for the live event, I'm just looking for health related careers. There we go, I've got healthcare. So it's telling you about different people who actually work in healthcare. So we've got people who are managers working in human resources, pharmacy, audiology, healthcare science practitioner, and so on. So these are really good short films that just tell you about what it's like doing that job from somebody who's actually doing it. Also, we know that students like to have some information about particular careers, some really good information, everything you need to know about a certain career. So also in the job search section, we've put a link to an external website called Prospects, where you can look on specific job profiles. So this is external to CareerEDGE, and you might have accessed this already if you're at college. But in here, you can look for particular graduate jobs. So let's go for midwife. And it tells you what's involved, what the responsibilities are, how to qualify, skills you're going to need, potential employers, and so on. So we've got a link to that in there. This is written about by careers advisors working in universities, and it's only about the kind of jobs you can do after you've attended university. So that's a useful resource to know about. So going back into CareerEDGE and back to our list of different things you need to know while you're at university. Also linked to exploring jobs is exploring the industry. So within the job research section, we've also got industry reports. And you can choose which industry you're interested in or explore industries that you hadn't thought of before. And I know that you won't be able to read this as I'm going through it because there's quite a lot of information, but just to give you an idea, it gives you an overview of the industry, how much money is actually involved in the industry, how many people work there. Trends is what's going on, so how are things changing, how are the jobs changing, numbers of jobs, types of jobs, what are the influences. And again, the SWOT analysis kind of links to things changing within the industry. So what are the good things that are going on, the strengths? What are the opportunities? What could be the difficulties? Employment consideration. So be very much aware of this if you're looking at getting into that industry. And then it's got links to those career journey profiles as well. And then finally at the end, we've got a list of potential recruiters and some really useful job websites and some of the top companies that you could work for in that industry, which you would probably have heard of the NHS and so on, but there are other companies within healthcare that you may not have heard of. So it's certainly worth looking at these too. So these industry reports are really handy because they give you lots of useful information in quite a short space of time. And they're updated regularly. So not all of these have been updated yet to reflect the current coronavirus situation, but they will be updated in time because there's a cycle of updating them on an ongoing basis. One of the other factors was meeting potential employers, which again, you've got the list in here. So we've got recruiters and employers. And if you go into any of these, you can click on the link and go onto the actual job website and find out more about what's on there. It's a really good resource. So I think I've now covered all of the options within those areas on CareerEDGE. I just wanted to give you an overview to give you an idea of what was available. And now we'll get some feedback. So I've just seen a question from Sanjana. Sanjana, did you see the web page? Did it actually come up on your screen? Oh, that's rubbish then. Okay, I'm sorry about that. What I will probably do is I will record the session and make sure that the web page does come up, and then we'll be able to send you a link to it. All right, thank you very much. I'm really sorry about that. I thought you would have been able to see it. Once the web page come up, I didn't see your comments anymore, so I've only just seen that. But we will definitely be able to put up the link to the recorded version for applicants online, and then you can see that. Okay. So I'm not going to ask this question because clearly it would be improved if you could have actually seen the page that I was looking at. So I'm sorry about that. But just to finish off, these are the things that we can offer as well as our CareerEDGE pages. So we offer 45-minute appointments with qualified careers advisors, 15-minute drop-in appointments with our careers officers if you just want a quick chat. We can do mock interviews, application checks, and on CareerEDGE it's got all those resources. So thank you so much for attending today's webinar. I'm sorry that the webpage didn't come up so that you could see it. I will definitely record it again so that you can see that information and you'll be able to access that online. Okay, thanks very much, Sanjana.